Hello everybody, welcome back to my hard mode SnowRunner playthrough. Just jumping straight into it from where we left off. We had just delivered some wooden planks to fix this bridge, dumped the 2-slot dolly trailer over there, and are heading out so that I can explain what the plan is for the episode while I'm driving. So this is episode 20 and we've mostly finished this map now. A little bit of damage coming rolling over that log there, a bit careless of me. We've nearly finished this map. We've got all of the watchtowers, we've got all but one of the upgrades, and when I say finished I mean from a scouting perspective, and getting the bridges fixed. So watchtowers, bridges fixed, upgrades, and then as I explained in the previous episode, the plan is going to be to head back to Smithfield Dam with basically the fleet. So this White Western Star, the Pacific P16 and the Chevy, because they're all due a little bit of TLC in the garage. But episode 20, what better way to celebrate episode 20 than to go and get ourselves yet another new truck. Although that does give us even more trucks to take back to the garage, so it's quite funny really. But yeah, so this episode is going to be about getting the Twinsteer repaired and recoverable, which means we need a repair trailer and some fuel, which is why we're picking up this fuel carrier right now, because yet another fuel carrier on this map. So there are lots of fuel options on this map. For anybody coming here, you don't really need to bring fuel with you. There's 5 or 6 trailers. So we're gonna take this out this way. Oh, actually no, let's do it this way instead. We're gonna go north past the watchtower that we got, around the logging station, and drop the trailer there, which is where the White Western Star is, not the where the Twinsteer is. And that's the truck that we need to fix in order for it to become ours. We may even have to deliver it, I'm not sure. But that we're going to do that in this episode. And then ideally what I want to be doing is taking these trucks back into Smithfield Dam and working our way back up through Smithfield Dam to get them all to the garage. And I may move one of them manually and then do some of them off cam, because there's going to be 4, maybe 5 vehicles, because we still have a TranStar to pick up in Smithfield Dams, and it's pretty much on our way, so we might get that one as well. But I am almost certain that that will be a truck that we will just recover. We'll get it and then immediately sell it. So I might, in that scenario where it's not a truck that I care about using, I may just recover it via the menu option and pay the money, but we'll see how much it is. Because we're in a position where we want to start stockpiling money as well to get ready to move on to Alaska. We've got a good bit of work to do before we go to Alaska, but stockpiling money now feels like it makes sense. This vehicle is our White Western Star 4964, I think, and it has all-terrain tyres on it, not off-road tyres. So it is a little bit vulnerable in this sticky stuff. Let's get it into a low gear and put the diff lock on, because it does have engageable all-wheel drive, engageable diff lock, 47-inch wheels and raised suspension. It's not too bad, but it is a little bit vulnerable just because the traction isn't the best for these conditions. And that's one of the reasons for getting this up to the garage, is that by reaching level 8 we've unlocked off-road tyres, and I really want to get off-road tyres on this truck. It'll make a huge difference to the rest of the missions that we're going to be doing with it. And I'm aware that I keep saying missions, in the game they call them tasks, but missions, tasks, quests, they all mean the same thing in my mind. There is a task on my left to collect you can just about see there's a Chevy pickup truck in the swamp, but I am not letting myself get distracted. We're on it, we're focused on getting the Twinsteer. So, and to do that we need to take it some fuel, which is why I'm towing this trailer. And we also need to get over 500 points of repair into it, and for that we'll go into Smithfield Dam because there's a service trailer, and I think there's one in Drummond Lake, there's one in Drummond Island, there's one in Smithfield Dam, and I think the one in the dam is closer in terms of miles driven to get to it and bring it back. But we'll get the fuel there first and then carry on driving. Oh, I've just driven into the chassis of something that's stuck in the swamp. Spot that there sticking out into the road, trying to remember that one for future reference. But that's just done some damage. And if I pop up my short menu, I have got some engine points damage. And I saw something on another YouTube video from another content creator, and I forgot who it was. But the comment that was made in the video by the person driving the truck is that engine damage increases your fuel consumption, which would make sense, but that's not something I've been aware of, so I'm going to be keeping an eye on that, because I've got a fair bit of damage there now, and I'm just curious as to whether that is affecting making this truck more thirsty, or any truck that I do damage on, which is most of them, frequently. And in hard mode, fuel is quite the commodity that you need to be careful for. Use the Twinsteer to pull myself out of that bit of mud. Put the diff lock on, probably make it easier anyway. I'm not going to put fuel in now because the vehicle, I believe, is fully broken, and therefore would just leak fuel because its fuel tanks are broken. I'm just going to leave that trailer there and head south. Alright, let's refuel the White Western Star while I'm here. I will put some fuel in this one. Yeah, so I'm burning 3.8 litres a minute at the moment without any repair points. That's with all-wheel drive on, so 3.8 litres a minute. When I repair it, I'll see if that reduces. If anybody who has played more than me has any experience of that, and can confirm or deny that engine damage affects your fuel consumption, please let me know. I know that suspension damage and wheel damage affects how the truck drives, so it kind of makes sense that there's a penalty for engine damage, other than the fact that if it gets to 0, the truck won't start. On the left here, in this swampy stuff, there is another upgrade. And I had a brief look at getting to it with the Chevy pickup truck, which is parked on the road ahead of us, right in the way. But I wasn't confident getting in there. But let's just see if we can get it as we're going past. I've actually driven past it, haven't I? No, I'll leave it for now, but I will move the Chevy out of the way because it's parked right in the way. It's actually quite low on main tank fuel. It's got fuel in its roof still, but I will head it in the direction of fueling it up from that tank that we've just dropped on. Trying to find somewhere dry to put it, and that feels like a sensible place. So I can see the car that represents the upgrade in the swamp, but it is literally swamp all the way there and all the way back, so I'm not sure that I fancy driving in there just yet. Alright, I will just put this here for a minute because it's off the road. That's good enough for me. I want to get on with the job that we're here to do, which is get the Twinsteer rescued. So we are heading now with the White Western Star into Smithfield Dam. Oh, more engine damage. I need to... If I'm in the cab, it's a lot easier to avoid, or at least to see the things that I'm driving into, but it is... Third person is where I do most of my damage, to be fair. Luckily, we're going to get a repair trailer. Right, through the tunnel, back into Smithville, which we haven't been back to for a fair while, really. So there is a repair the truck task here, and I don't think that's our truck that we can keep, but there's a trailer here that does that I think you can use to do that repair. And then I'm pretty sure, it's going to be a bit disappointing if not, I'm pretty sure you just keep that trailer and can use it for whatever. It's the first time we've driven on tarmac. for a while as well. Not an awful lot of tarmac in Island Lake. Not an awful lot here, look, it's run out already. All-wheel drive. I'm on the side of the soggy puddle. Different soggy puddle. No obvious way around it. I probably could go. There's plenty of trees, it should be fine. Dangerous water level. Quite the puddle. Repair the truck. Not bad, a little bit of money. And on the map, what's it actually telling me to do? Restore the GMC, nearly 600 points. And I'm pretty sure that it's asking me to find it. Because I'm pretty sure that it is right there. So, yeah, strange. But anyway, let's go on, let's push on and get the maintenance service trailer. So there is a task here. For some lost bags, which we tagged it, but we're not going to start tracking it because it's not a task we're going to do right away. Just going to use the tail of this truck to pull the service trailer out to where it's a bit easier to connect. Attach trailer. So currently 3.8 litres per minute, and I have 144 of 190 damage to my vehicle. I'm going to repair all. Still 3.8 litres per minute. So unscientific cursory glance, it doesn't seem to make any difference, at least to the ticking over idle fuel consumption. Maybe it does at high revs, or maybe it does under strain, I'm not sure. So as we're here, just double check, but I'm pretty sure that that service trailer has, yeah, so it's got, still after we've used some of it, more than 1400 points. So it's got enough to do the GMC repair for that task on the way past, and then we'll take it into Island Lake and fix up the Twinsteer. Taking the grass route to try and avoid, oh, driving into trees again. I was going to say to try and avoid getting stuck in that hole and then drove it into a tree. Editing the couple of previous episodes, I'm really pleased at the progress that I was able to make. Pretty much from the rescue episode onwards. The rescue took a little bit of time to get the P16 back on its wheels, but not too bad. But then getting that vehicle and this one back into Island Lake, getting the bridges done, getting the watchtowers uncovered, that's all good, gratifying type of stuff to be doing. This has got its div lock on. It's just boggy. I didn't want to go too far up because I don't want to be driving at 45 degrees and tip the trailer over. That's not part of my game plan. So, repair service trailer to GMC. So it doesn't need wheels, which is lucky for it, because I wouldn't have put the wheels in there, because I'm pretty sure I need the wheels for the Twinsteer. So I've still got 8 wheels in the service trailer and over nearly 900 points, which is easily enough for the Twinsteer. So now we're going to get Twinsteer, which is quite exciting. Pull myself off the right side of my chassis to that tree, because that gives me a better angle to pull at. It's a submarine. I don't think we've even got the highest snorkel on this, so I did pretty well really. That was good. That was a deeper puddle than it looked. So now another tip, I'm going to winch from the trailer, because that will both pull us forward but also take the weight off the truck. Right, pulling us sideways isn't helping too much anymore, so now we need to get something on the front of us. There we go, not too bad. These trailers are quite heavy. The Pacific may have been stronger at doing this particular job, because it does seem to cope in mud better, but that's probably only until this has got its better wheels on, better tyres. There we go. We're on the tarmac, so over the worst of it. Right, so make sure I don't go the wrong way, because it's a hanger hard right to the end of the track, basically. It's coming in a bit of dark. Nearly bashed into my Chevy there because I'm looking at this little, although it is getting dark, that little bit on my truck's right that I'm looking at right now, that looks like it might be a path to that other upgrade. So we'll do that in a minute. Right. White. Western Star. Well done. So we've got to repair the Twinsteer. So it didn't need wheels anyway, but it needs gas tank, engine, suspension and gearbox, all repairing for a total of 608 points. We've got enough, but the service trailer is nearly empty. We could resupply it if we need repairs in this part of the map, but probably don't, so I'll just leave it parked here. So that's that one. And then we'll also jump in to the refuel menu and say refuel carrier, fuel up the White Western Star anyway. This is always a good thing to do. So the Western Star 6900 Twinsteer. Fueler right up. Job done. 160 experience, 1500. But more importantly, I think. So does that mean that is now mine? No, it doesn't. So what do I have to do? Do I have to drag it somewhere? No, I can jump into it. For some reason, it wasn't offering me that. It's got quite a big set of fuel tanks. So this vehicle has an engageable diff lock for the 2 rear axles, but all-wheel drive you need to unlock on another map, and as I understand it, that map is quite a way ahead of us in terms of gameplay and content. Oh my, that's a bit of stuff, isn't it? What's its winch like? Much range on it? No. Nope. Ah, it's pretty stuck. Change over to this one. Drop the trailer off. So we'll leave the trailer there. Just want to move it enough to get on the other side of the Twinsteer and give it a bit of a pull. Engine's on the Twinsteer, so it'll support us with the pull. Diff lock, all-wheel drive is on. Let's go. So this Twinsteer, early on in the game, from what I've seen, bearing in mind I came to this game 18 months after it was a new game. But from what I gather, it was rated as a pretty good truck, even though it wasn't all-wheel drive. And then they added all-wheel drive to it. So it's an interesting vehicle in that it doesn't require a trailer. It can carry 4 slots of cargo without having a trailer. But because it's a rigid-bodied vehicle, it has a pretty poor turning circle, basically. But for free, I'm not going to complain. Leave those two there for a minute. I'm going to leave. I am leaving these two trailers here as well. But what I'm going to do, because this looks like a spit of land, is I'm going to jump into... I can't quite reach. I suppose I could just go in there in the White Western Star, couldn't I? It's got decent light, so it should be alright. Let's explore whether we can get that upgrade. Doesn't look like an area that particularly needs a scout-sized vehicle to get in. If it's dry, this should be safe enough, he says. Quite a lot of trees to get through. So this is a 5-litre V6 engine, not for the current truck, but it would go into the Chevy. So at the moment the Chevy's got a 4.4 litre. We've got a 5.2 in stock that was a little bit thirsty, so I left it in stock and switched to the 4.4. This is somewhere in between, so that's just interesting to have unlocked. And obviously it fits all those other vehicles as well, but the only one of them that we have is the Chevy pickup truck. Cool. And that is the last upgrade on this map. So reverse back out the way we came in. Making a bit of a mess of the trees. So for this phase of Island Lake, we're done, because the scouting is what, you know, by my criteria of done is watchtowers, bridges, upgrades, basically, and vehicles, and we've done all of that on this lake, and we've done all of that on Drummond Lake as well. We've got a couple of things to pick up in Smithville, but really it's a case of let's get back to the garage so that we can look at our upgrades and plan for... I'm trying to get this to go into low reverse, but it's a bit fiddly. So now we can put a dip lock on and get out a little bit easier. Just had a thought that with my little crane on this vehicle, it would be interesting to maybe put the pickup truck on the back of the Twinsteer and take it home. Nah. By way of comparison, actually, I'm going to turn the engine off of the Twinsteer, disconnect the winch, take this one through to Smithville Dam on its own. So I'm now in auto gearbox, all-wheel drive enabled, so obviously there's no diff lock running because I'm not in low. I don't have the best tyres and so on anyway, but I just want to do this and then compare the Twinsteer coming down the same piece of road in stock condition as we picked it up. And if it struggles, we'll just rescue it later with the P16. So this is basically not getting out of first gear on auto. So I may as well be... There it got into second gear, but I'm not sure that's wise. I'd probably be faster in low, high, low, the high ratio of the low gearbox, and have the diff lock on. Probably would be faster, but I want to just do a comparison real quick. I'll leave that there, jump into the Twinsteer and do the same thing. Because it's such a long vehicle, the third person camera puts you right outside of a comfortable viewing area. So this is also in auto. It's also not getting out of first at the moment. This is not a vehicle I'm going to sell. I am going to keep this, and at the very least I'll leave it in the garage. If I don't use it for any road-based stuff where I don't think the lack of all-wheel drive will cause it a problem, I'll leave it in the garage until I can get all-wheel drive for it, and then I'll make an assessment. But I'm going to keep this anyway because it's a fairly unique vehicle. The ones that I've been selling, like the Chevy Kodiak and the GMC and the Scout 800, have been vehicles where I felt I had a better alternative for that class of vehicle. Whereas I think this is the only eight-wheeled rigid that can carry 4 slots without having to worry about trailers. And I'm sure there'll be scenarios where it's just easier to not have a trailer on some deliveries. So I'm pretty sure that I would keep this vehicle indefinitely, because in hard mode, if I sold it, I would lose half of its value. So therefore, if I ever wanted to buy it back, I would have to, it would cost me more. Unlike campaign mode, where you can sell it for full value and then just buy it back. No difference, no loss. Well, I'm not going to say, I'm going to call it kind of evens really. This might have slightly struggled less. One of the things that I've read in reviews that this has as an advantage is that long wheelbase can make it a bit easier for certain types of terrain, because your front wheels may be struggling but your back wheels will have purchase, and vice versa if you've got the all-wheel drive option. But I'll just leave it parked there so that I can jump into it and take it to the dam. But for now the priority is I want to get the White Western Star up. Looking at the length of the episode, probably need to, yeah. Can't actually drive through the tunnel out there, you've got to hit the button. So hopefully this is an uneventful drive, although knowing me, it won't be. So quick look at the map. So the last vehicle that we haven't yet got is here. The last upgrade that we haven't yet got is here. And then our route out from this side of the dam, because we haven't fixed this block road yet, is up to the quarry anyway, refuel at the resupply zone, and then back to the garage. So it would be silly not to at least look at this stuck vehicle. And there's the distraction that I knew I would impose upon myself as I came through. But if I don't do it now, I'm probably going to recover the Pacific, the Chevy and the Twinsteer off cam. Drive this one up, get it in the garage, but recover the others off cam, because I don't think anybody needs to watch me do the same drive 4 different times in 4 different types of vehicles just for the sake of seeing the drive. So I'll get this one back in this episode and then probably move the rest of them off cam. But what I don't want to do is, in the process of moving the rest of them, recover this TranStar off cam as well. So let's just make sure. I'm going to try, I'll come across there, here, here, here. See if that route looks okay. It's a pretty wet route, but let's see if it looks okay. I need to go where there are trees, basically. So there's the vehicle on our left. Let's see if we can get across this bit, because there are trees. That looks like that's floating on the water. So, engine off. So it looks like it is fully broken. What would it cost me to recover it? 2,500. So I think I should just recover it, but I don't. Now that I've tagged it, now that I've got close enough to actually have it appear on the map as a vehicle that I can select here and jump into, I don't need to recover it now. I'm not going to try and tow it out because it's completely broken down and it's just going to delay my journey back to the garage too much for what I want to achieve in this episode. So I'm just going to try and get this vehicle. A bit of help from a tree. And in an ideal world, I want to take this now to that upgrade. This is the upgrade that I drove right past, literally drove down this little track and missed the upgrade because I was talking. I must have almost driven over it like that. Let's see. So this is raised suspension for the Scout 800. It wasn't a critical upgrade for us anyway, considering that we sold the Scout 800. But still, it's now, again in terms of milestones, so I need to be getting back this way up to the quarry there on a little bit of asphalt and refuel in there. Connecting to the wrong thing. I want that tree. There we go. And now we basically follow the power poles out. So in terms of completion, just out of interest, on my character page, I'm fairly close to level 9. That's cool. So we've got 8 out of 8 vehicles found. We've got 26 out of 26 watchtowers unlocked. And we've got 21 out of 21 upgrades unlocked. So that's a big step forward in terms of completing Michigan and moving on to Alaska. But we have got a lot of contracts to do because we've barely done any contracts. I think we might have only done the one barely farm one. So the next few episodes, I'm not really sure how long it'll take, but the next few episodes will be get all of the fleet back off cam to the garage, and then as needed take them back to Black River and start working on the main contracts. And that will progress us through the same set of maps in sequence, but starting with Black River. And then we'll tick off for a completion any side tasks that haven't been done, including the contests. So we'll be taking scouts, we'll be building the right type of truck to go and do the contests, We have more powerful engines now, so the only contest I've ever done, I got a silver on because I was it was an 8-minute time trial, and I did it in 8 minutes and I think 58. So I missed it by just under a minute. So we've now got more powerful engines. We've got race suspension, better wheels, all-wheel drive, etc. So that particular time trial, I'm very confident we could just ace that in 8 minutes easily now. And we'll have a look at the rest of them because we want to tick everything off as complete in Black River, then in Smithfield Dam, and then move back to the 2 lakes to complete the big delivery missions. Right, here we go. We're going to dive into, get over the bridge. So how many episodes do we think it'll take? I don't know. To do the big contracts, you're probably not going to be doing multiple contracts per episode very often. Unless I time lapse all of them quite a lot. I don't really want to cut footage on that because those things are the main progression story part of the game. So from a recording my hard mode challenge, those are probably the most important things to make sure I'm not skipping through. We came for fuel. We got fuel. We got out of here and got back to our garage. So this is an easy drive back to the garage now. And before closing the episode, I just want to put this in the garage and look at the tyres. There we go, we're in. Repair wise, got some body damage. I'm not going to worry about that for a minute. So, engine. We've already got the most powerful engine we can fit. We've got the off-road gearbox, we've got race suspension. This is what we're interested in. We've now got the ability to add... so they're all, I think they're all rated the same. I just have a preference for these, which is the UOD 2s. And although the rating is the same, they look more knobbly, so they're the ones I'm going to buy. So we'll stick those on. We'll sell the 47 UADs, all-terrain tyres, that we've just been using. So we get back half of the value of those. So that helps. We don't unlock chained. So in terms of Alaska, if you want chains on 47s, you need rank 12. And we may get that from doing, we're nearly 9 now, but you get so much XP from doing the storyline stuff. I'd be surprised if we weren't higher than 12. So that would mean this truck with chains on going to Alaska would be a great start for us. Winch. So I could get a longer range winch. It's quite expensive at 11,000. Rank 16 to get the advanced. At the moment, I don't have a need for the advanced. I think is extended and higher power, so it's kind of both of these in one. I think I'll wait because I don't want to waste nearly 6,000 selling that second hand. Got the diff lock. Not unlocked the spare wheel yet. Not unlocked the higher snorkel yet. Frame add-ons, don't care about those for a minute because the ones we got on are just fine for now. But you can see from this position, those tyres are quite chunky. So that's the upgrade that we've been pushing for several episodes now. Level 8 was quite a big deal. And in the same garage, we've got our Twinsteer, which is now capable of getting the same. I would have to buy the off-road gearbox because the one that we got for discovering it as an upgrade, I stuck into the White Western Star. It's also got the best engine we can currently fit. It's got race suspension. It could have the same tyres, 45 inch instead of 47, but it could have the same grade of tyre. Yeah, all the rest of it's the same. Just before I close, let's just have a real quick look. I think it's a highway grade, that Transstar 4070 that it says we've got two. Strange, I don't think so. But it has a sale value of almost $32,000. So if I sell it, I'll get half of that. So 16,000. I think it's worth paying the 2.5 as a salvage fee. Treat it like a sales tax. Pay the 2,500. Means I'll get 13,500 added to my kitty of money. Because it's not a vehicle I want to keep, even if I preview it. I think there's no all-wheel drive and no diff lock option on it, so it's not as if I could even unlock it and make it more powerful than it is. It just is a highway truck, and there's not enough highway in this game to justify having that in my stable. So I am going to recover it and sell it, but I'll do that off cam because there's no, so my money will jump up by about 13,500, and the reason for that will be the sale of that vehicle. But other than that, off camera, we'll get the other vehicles all back here, and we'll then, in the next episode, start strategically planning how we're going to do the main tasks. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you're enjoying the series, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.